All right, guys, I'm here with Alpha Jalloh from the Wasa Royals, defensive back, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, maybe even quarterback sometimes. Probably going to play kicker this year. Who knows? But Alpha, welcome to the podcast, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Definitely won't be playing kicker, but maybe the other positions you mentioned.
You don't play no kicker. You don't do a little soccer in your free time.
You know what?
You're in
Actually,
Spain now, so I know you. I know you playing soccer out there.
I ain't gonna lie. I went to this indoor facility, and I was amazed by myself. I did when you do the feet pass, boop, 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 and I just
Mm-hmm.
kicked it behind me and it went directly in the goal, and I was like, but a month before that, we did a penalty kick in practice. I missed it,
Mm.
so I was like, no
That's
credit.
always been my issue with like soccer is I don't know how to like kick and score, I guess. Like I don't know how to shoot. I can pass decently. I can get the ball. I can cross it and everything. I can dribble okay, but if I got to shoot, I don't know where that ball going. I play kickball, and kickball ain't the same as soccer, but I understand. But
It's all
getting
good.
on to the actual interview, we
Mhm.
always digress at the beginning of these interviews. We want to talk about the 2024 season. You're playing with the Wasa Royals. First question is, what is your motivation for coming back with the Royals this season? Like, what do you expect? Like, why did you come back to this team, and what do you expect to happen? I know it's kind of like a two-part question.
Yeah, it's okay. Why did I come back to this team? I can answer that first.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, I've been playing in Raza since the first time in 2019, took a gap year in 2021, played in the ELF, and came back in 2022, won a championship there in the lower division, but still a championship. Man, Vaza is home for me. It's where my family is. The players, we look after each other. Something about the small towns when you play in different places in Europe. Of course, the capital city is going to have that one team, but the small cities like us, Seniogi has a good vibe. Can't speak so much for Kuopio. The vibe there is different, and we feel like them outsiders that got to stick together. Almost like when you, a black guy, black people immigrating to another country, you see another black person, we stick together. So we have that vibe within each other on the team. There's some chemistry that's going to be changed up this year, and I mean that's why I'm here because Vaza is home for me
Okay,
in
all
Finland.
right.
You asked me another question. What was the other question? Can you
Well,
repeat that?
I guess now the next question, I try to do a double question, but the next question would be what is the reason for like what's the motivation for the Royals
Yeah.
team this year? I mean,
Okay.
like I know now you tell me why you came back, but what's the
Mhm.
motivation for the team going into this season? Like what's your, why? What's your team's why this season?
I understand. Every year, every team at the beginning of the season, the goal is championship. But we got to be
Hmm.
real. Every team is going to make it there. And some teams, if they're honest, they know that their staff, the people that they recruited, is not going to help them out. Um, Seppo is a guy who, you can bump heads with him, but you got to trust him at the end of the day. It's like buy into his program and see what's going to happen for the team if we all buy in. So he feels confident every year with the pieces that we put together and the why. We got to the playoffs last year. We expected to be there, but during the season, even if we're honest, we can look from an accountability perspective that we didn't almost deserve to get there. But then we got the right pieces. We won the right games, got into the playoffs, and we think that the why is that we have a chance this year. We think that some teams have got worse, and we think that we got a bit better. So um, the big why is win the championship, of course, every team's motto. But the why for us is that we have business to take care of on the field. We have business to prove to other cities and other teams in Finland that Vaasavori is still a team to reckon with, and we can build off that for the future. So I think like this year is also planting some seeds because we're a young team and we want to show that our young talent is going to be able to help us out, but also build towards Vaasavori being a dominant club in Finland.
Okay. Well, speaking of going into the season, last year, like you said, you guys made the playoffs. Um, not
Mhm.
as dominant as you wanted to be. What are some changes or improvements that we can expect from the Royals going into this season?
Don't want to give too much of our card, but I do think that some aspects of our defense is going to be really strong. it's already out there that we signed more defensive players. You know, Europeans, Americans, and so we can expect that teams not going to be able to run the ball well against us. We expect that our players are going to fly around to the field, and it's always a good sign when teams can re-sign certain players. I think it's a bad
Hmm.
sign when teams people don't want to come back, or it's like you don't know if you want to come back. If you can't get people to come back, that's a bad sign. So we
Yeah.
have some re-signing players, two on the defense, and some of our local players they decide to come back. They can easily, I won't say easily because the San Diego beat, but they can easily go play on other teams, go down and play in Porty or play just the college league. But offensively, our game plan is always still the same. We want to be dominant running the ball. We have a great O-line coach with Seppo, and he's developing the players. So I think I would say those two things. Defensively, we're going to be strong in some areas. Offensively, we want to take care of their running.
Okay. And what about, kind of like a week to week basis? You guys are going to be focusing on certain aspects. Obviously, you have to do game planning, but I
Mhm.
want to know, what do you think is going to be what the Royals do every week to make sure that you have a chance for success? And what is it about your team that you think you're going to always bring to the table each week during the season?
The great thing is I keep mentioning Seppo, Marty Cass, the other people in management, but Seppo's still on the field at the same time as the management. We're doing it already now. We have been game planning already since the end of last year. Everything is already prepared. Started from last year. We already know everything that's going on. So right now we're doing the small things right. Is one preparation. That's why even if we don't have the best players on the field, we are prepared. And we have already have our meetings. This past week, they just finished camp. Then we're gonna have another camp when I'm back in Finland. So and we keep that same momentum. So the steps that we're doing right now with having camp and having meetings already, like they had a Zoom meeting every Monday. I see the messages, uh, on WhatsApp, and I see them on my emails. And we have the film. We have great film too. Like some every team may, I'm pretty sure they have film practice, but our film from a drone, is great. It allow us to see all the mistakes and all the. You can't lie. You can't BS any of these things. Um, so game planning week in to week out. So I set that picture up to say that we're going to be very prepared, and I think our coaches, even the ones who new to coaching, they're getting better, and our young guys are getting better. So if anything, what we're going to be doing week to week is game planning. I think that our strength this year is that our young guys are getting smarter, and we have veteran players that we can outsmart some teams now. While in the past, we had to rely a little bit on key players. I think we can outsmart teams.
Okay. All right. So last question, then I'm gonna let you get out of here, Alpha. This season, 2024, like you mentioned earlier, some teams are not as good as they were last year. Some teams might even be better. That's to be seen, but there's a lot of change throughout the league. A lot of teams are changing certain parts to make teams look completely different. Even you guys having a new quarterback makes your offense look completely different. No matter what you
Mhm.
do, that's always a change. And then there's other teams that have new quarterbacks, new defensive players, new coaches, all through the league. So for you personally, what are you excited about seeing in the 2024 Maple League season? What excites you this year?
I mean, what excites me is competing. To be honest, I love to compete, and I love to be a part of um, my team success. I mean, selfishly speaking, I like to be part of team success, and I'm always also excited to see DJ back on the field. I mean, DJ was a dog on defense. Lawman, a new signing guy, Prince. So I'm excited to see that as far as like our team perspective. And sorry that I didn't mention other people. Didn't want to go down that list when you got to keep
Yeah,
missing
you're
people. But
right.
I'm also excited to see, how we're going to match up. Our young guys match up against, the other competitions of teams. And one thing that I want to say, and I was a bit off top, I'm kind of interested to see if Porvu has his ego. Like we won the championship last year and we're going to dominate again this year. And I told Gwennon already, I said, look, ever since I played against the Butchers, I never lost a game against them. And I don't plan on doing it this year. So I'm excited to see like what dynamics they're gonna bring. Yeah, I'm trash talking. Brandon's
Hold
my
on, we
guy.
got to bring that back because I love that.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to see. So
you
I just
know,
want to, make it
yeah,
clear for everybody. Uh,
undefeated against
you
the
got
Butchers.
you
Never lost a
guys,
game.
and when I talked to DeMarco earlier, I think he said something similar. But now I'm going to ask you: you guys didn't feel like Porvu were better than you last year, right?
Never, not at all, not one time, not one
Hmm.
time. To be honest, not one
Okay.
time. We did
So
see that they
so
did get better and they won games that we didn't think they would win, but we just
mhm.
knew that we can dominate against them.
Okay. And going into this season, I mean, almost the same teams, right? So
Yeah,
you
and they
expect the same outcome.
yeah, and they took one of our players, one of our cornerbacks, Jose. I think you
Yeah.
guys seen that sign. So it's
Yeah.
like, that's my guy. Regardless, Jose is my guy. But I'm excited to see him on the field. It's like one of those dynamics. Like, we know him. He's one of
Hmm.
our own. So we want to attack this guy. You know what I mean? And because last year we took one of their players. We took Yede. I can't
Okay.
pronounce his last name, but Yede, one of their DBs. But he's going back to Provo again. So it's like two guys who played with us last year going to play over there, and Gwynn was over there. So it's going to be a fun dynamic. So I'm mentioning Provo because we have some common interests. They got some Swedish speaking over there. We have that over here as well. But all the other teams as well. I'm serious to see how St. Yorkie is going to do because they was the promising team to be in the finals. They went to the finals and lost, and it was in their hometown. And I am excited to see how other teams are going to be this year. The new dynamics, new signings.
Yeah.
Finland's always done a good job of bringing some good players over here, and the Finnish league is a great league to be in. So I'm excited to see how it's going to be on the field. I'm
Yeah.
excited to compete.
Well, it should work itself all out in September, and we'll see who's the best. That's for
For
sure. We'll
sure.
see. We'll keep up with you and the butchers. But that's it for me. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, Alpha. Wish you and the Royals good luck this season, man, and have
Thank
a
you.
good one. We'll be here on the AFF podcast.
And thanks for having me again. God bless you, Perth.
Thank you.